Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I can't wait to start this week off right with our Mindset and Motivation Monday topic of the week here on the Cabral Concept. This week's show is all about being a better person in your relationships, whether those relationships be with work, someone in your community, your spouse, your partner, your children, whatever it may be. These are things that I've picked up over the years that I've been able to integrate into my life to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect, but if we just do a little bit better each and every week, well, I think that we'll find that the outcome of our relationships will be that much better. And I think if our relationships are better, then in general, we have happier lives. And that's because there's less conflict. The less conflict you have to deal with at work, in your community, your extended family, or your personal relationships, the better. Meaning like the people you spend the most time with, if you get along with them, your days are infinitely easier. And that's what I want for you. So dive into the show here today. I basically have 5, I wouldn't call them discoveries, but they're at least discoveries to me, 5 universal principles that when you follow them, it does make life easier. And it does make you a better person because of it. And I think you'll see why in a moment. Now, I don't mean that you're a bad person right now, but when I say a better person, I think that we can all improve. And so if the goal is growth and the goal is improvement, then by following these 5 steps, we're going to get better. And because of that, I think we also enable ourselves to enrich our own life and the lives of others. And so that allows us to get better and then lift others up as well, whether they even know it or not. So let's check it out. The first tip I can offer you is this. And this is going to be more and more ubiquitous as every year passes with technology. So I just know, and I'm very acutely aware of it, that if I am home and I'm having a conversation with my 2 daughters, they don't yet have phones, or my wife, who obviously has her own phone, is that I have to be careful how often I am staring at that screen. And the reason is that we're always getting a notification about something, right? So there's work or text or social media, whatever it might be. And I do not want, one, my daughters to think that I am more interested in my phone and all that goes on there than them, or 2, that they think it's normal behavior. Now, I know it's ubiquitous, right? I know it's part of our culture, but I don't want them then to the day when they get a phone is that we can't have a conversation looking each other in the eyes without being on our phones. So what I would say is this, it's not about the phone itself, it's about being present. So when I'm home or even at work, like if I'm having a conversation with someone at work, it doesn't even matter if I'm on Zoom or not, that I am having a conversation where I'm looking at the other person, right? That I'm totally present. And to me, this is important because it goes beyond the phone. So I've been at conferences where you'll be talking to an individual and they are looking around, either looking for another individual who they may want to chat with or something more interesting that might be going on. What you don't want to do is be someone that isn't present in any of your relationships or interactions. One, if you don't want to be having that conversation, be polite, right? Be sincere. Let them know it was great meeting with them and you need to go catch up with whoever it might be, right? But the thing is, especially in the relationships that do matter to you, is that we need to show those people that they matter to us. That is being a better person, right? Because we might think nothing of it, of kind of looking at our phone and talking to the person at the same time. I mean, everybody does that, right? But that doesn't mean it's okay. So if we want someone to feel heard and to be seen, we need to hear and see them in totality. That means get rid of the phone. Be present, even if it's just for a minute or 2. I think that's so important. Or let them know why you might be picking up your phone. I'll say that to my daughters, like, oh, that's a great question. I'm going to go actually find that answer right now, right? So we'll talk about it first, and then we'll try to come up with an answer, right? And I might look that up, but I'm going to tell them why that I'm going on to that so that I can also put it down. And to make sure during our conversations that I don't pick up that phone that's away from me. Really, really important, being present. Number 2 is this. Don't get mad at someone for not knowing what it is that you are looking for. So many times in our relationships, and this goes again for work as well. Like I have to be, as the founder of wellness-based companies, I cannot get mad or upset at any employee because they did not do something that I didn't ask, right? I mean, I think it's really, really frustrating for people when they're supposed to read your mind. And this, of course, goes for relationships as well. So if you or your spouse gets mad at each other for not doing something that the other person didn't even ask you to do or explicitly say, if you could help me with this, it's really difficult to get mad at that person. It really is. Because as much as we think that the other person should anticipate and already know our needs, already know us, right? If you knew me, you would have done that, right? If you loved me, you would have, well, the thing is, most people, especially those people that truly care for us, will do whatever we really ask of them if we ask them nicely, and it means something to us. But we can't do the things that we don't even know to do, right? And so that goes for all of us. So again, in order to be a better person this coming year, right? What I want you to think about is this. Take a moment. You're upset at someone else, work, community, family, right? Kids, whatever it might be. Did I ask that individual to do this, yes or no? And if I wanted them to do it, if I said no, just say, you know what, that one's on me. You have to. You have to put the responsibility back on yourself. And I'm telling you why. It's actually easier that way. Just, oh, that one's on me. I didn't ask them. Next time, I'm going to ask them. Because then you can't get upset at the other individual. They didn't know. And two, you're most likely not going to stay mad at yourself for that long, right? Like we have a way of kind of letting ourselves off the hook a lot of the time now. I know we get mad at ourselves and down on ourselves for certain things, but in terms of making our voice heard, that should be something that we get a little bit more clear on as well. Let people know what you want. Let people know what you're looking for. If they're not outrageous demands, then I think other people will actually be happier. Oh, now I know how to make this person happy, right? They've just let me know. They told me how to do it. People like that. People like to know where they stand. So that's number two. Number three is this. If someone isn't happy, so they're not happy, it wasn't because of you, ask them why. And if it had to do with you, what could you do better next time? This is a key one too. And the reason is that it's putting it back on them as well. So, and I don't mean that in a bad way. So the first thing is this. You see someone unhappy and they're just kind of shut down. You know, there's a lot of people in life when they get unhappy, they shut down. Meaning that they get a little bit more passive. Passive-aggressive, maybe, just more passive. Okay, so let's put it this way. You can tell, let's just say with your spouse, you can tell that your spouse isn't talking. They're not saying anything good or bad. They're just not really chatting, or they typically may be. And you can tell that they're unhappy, right? Ask them why. You seem upset. Is everything okay? Right? And then if they open up and they say this, and this happened, and they're upset by it, you say, okay, again, maybe going back to that second part, I didn't know that that was what you were looking for. And they let you know, well, I've asked for this in the past, this and this. You say, okay, I understand. How can I do better next time? Because the reason why I say this is a lot of people would say, okay, well, this is assuming responsibility. And I would say, yes, it is. Again, if you want a happy life, doesn't always mean easy, but easy doesn't mean happy, right? So if you want a happier life, you're going to take more responsibility in your life. And the reason is those people who take the most responsibility, honestly, if they're really truthful about it and they do the work, they are happier. And because they realize that most people aren't willing to. That's the truth. So if they're willing to take more responsibility, not shouldering blame, but doing more, they often get more out of life. And the nice thing is they help others along the way. So in this example, it could just be someone at work. You see the same thing. They're kind of shut down. They're not really speaking. Is everything okay? Right? They share with you what's wrong. Let's say it is on you. How could I do better next time? How can we make this better next time? So now they feel heard, they're seen, and now they're helping to solve the problem. Now, why do I say it's putting it back on them? If they can't share with you how you could do it or the situation could be done better next time, then is that really your fault? No, it's not. Like if there's no better way to do it, they don't know a better way of doing it, it shows them how could they possibly be mad, right? So what I would say is this, again, best case situation, you get home, your partner's upset, they're not speaking, and you just say, hey, is everything okay? And they might just say, it's fine. You say, you know what, you seem upset. Can I ask why? They share with you what's going on. Maybe it is because of you. Okay. Understood. And again, using your active listening, it sounds like you're saying this. How could I do it better next time? What would you be looking for? They share that with you, and you just say, okay, sure, I can do that next time. Didn't even think about it. Didn't cross my mind. Now that you've brought it up, I'm happy to do that. Does that work? And they're probably going to be like, yes. And like, hopefully then they're like, wow, like that wasn't bad, right? And you didn't lose face, as they say. You didn't do anything wrong. You just literally stepped up. You leveled up. You became, in this situation, a better person, right? Like literally, you're just saying, I can help this person. It means that much to them. This is no big deal for me. I could do this. And that is without a doubt going to improve your relationships. There's just no doubt about it. And you diffused a situation at work or at home that honestly, a lot of the times, not a big deal. It's just not. Just didn't see eye to eye on it. Okay, you communicated clearly. You said, sure, I can make this happen. That's all there is to it. If they're mad after that, what could you be mad about, right? You're mad for the sake of being mad at that point. All right, this is a big one. And this goes so far. So this is number 4. Tell people you appreciate them. Gratitude is the greatest gift that you can give yourself and others. What I mean by that is this. So, and I think first you do have to start with yourself. I try to teach this as much as I can. If you can't be grateful for what you have in your life, some of the unique talents you have, the unique insights, your way of seeing the world, your way of doing certain things, it's really difficult then to see the beauty in other people, and it's difficult then to give them gratitude, to give them thanks, right? So for an example is this. Let's say that you set a goal for yourself of each and every day, you're going to contact one individual where you're going to appreciate them. You're going to show appreciation. You're going to show them thanks. You're going to give gratitude. So again, it could be at work. Let's say you're a part of a big team. You may just send a quick Slack message. You may give a quick phone call. Just say, hey, just want to let you know, yesterday when you did X, Y, and Z, that was amazing. I really appreciated that. I didn't even think to do it. You took care of it before I even asked. That's amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's it. How do you think that that person is going to feel? Especially if it's to start their day. Amazing. But guess what else is going to happen? They're going to want to do more of it, right? Because everybody loves being recognized. And that's what essentially gratitude is. Like, I'm recognizing you. I'm grateful for what you have done. You get home or it's even just during the day, you're thinking about your partner and you just text them like, hey, really appreciate, and whatever it is, again, insert something right there. Really appreciate you thinking about me the other day when you did X, Y, and Z. And again, you're thanking them for something that you received, that you are grateful for, and you're appreciating them and recognizing them as an individual. Even if you already thanked them, hey, just wanted to thank you again. Really nice of you. Well, guess what? In the future, they're going to do more of that as well. So what I'm saying is this, by you being a better person, by you being more appreciative to other people, more grateful to other people, opening up, taking responsibility, at the end of the day, it improves your overall life as well. Is it selfish? I wouldn't say so, right? You're being selfless in a way, but as I always share with you, it comes back to you. It honestly does. They've been saying this now since the dawn of time. It is a form of karma, right? You are getting back what you give. It's the law of attraction. It's the law of vibration. It's the law of frequency. It's karma, whatever you want to call it, right? It is how the world operates. So if you are vibrating at a higher level, if you're giving off more positivity is going to be brought back to you. Do negative things happen in life? Of course they do. That's also part of life. That's the yin and the yang that we also know exists. We can't always change that, but what we can do is get more of that what we hope for, that of which we are, to be honest with you, that which we are. And what we are hopefully comes forward with our actions. The fifth one is this, being kind. It is every single year that passes, I try to teach more kindness. I try to be more kindness. These are things that I try to share, and so does my wife, she's amazing at this, with our children about being kind. Was that kind? We always ask our daughter if they're doing something unkind to each other, to one of their sister, right? Or they don't usually do this, but again, it's family, right? Like they might, bicker back and forth. We just say, was that kind? Was that a kind thing to say? Was that a kind thing to do? So they recognize that, you know what? No, we're not talking to them as bad. They're not bad. The action, right? Was that kind? No, it wasn't, right? So what we want to do in our life is ask ourselves, are we being kind, right? In our interactions with other people, are they kind? With their words, were those kind? They may not have been, and oftentimes they're not. So what does that do? Well, it puts more negativity out there in the world. It causes someone then to have a bad day instead of that positive day we were talking about, right? It's also what I've realized too, and this is why there's a lot of division in the world right now, right? With just all sorts of things out there. Should you wear a mask? Should you not wear a mask? Should you do this? Should you not do this? Should you vote for this person? Not vote for this person? It's a lot out there in terms of good and bad. But what we have to understand just in general, people act in very specific ways based on their knowledge base of what they have and also what they have going on in their life. Even just walking down the street and someone's yelling or whatever it might be, people arguing, you don't know what just transpired before that. The person could just be having a really bad day. We've all had bad days ourselves. We don't want to be judged by our worst day. So when I see things going on more and more, I try to make no judgment at all. And I know, for one, those people who judge feel the most judged, right? That's been talked about in the Bible and throughout thousands of years. You can't judge, right? Lest you be judged. That's it. That's the truth. And it didn't literally means by you. If you're judging other people, if you're doing all these things, that's how you feel about you. If you're always judging people's looks and what they're doing, what they're thinking, you're always worried that people are going to be judging you as well. But if you don't do that, you'd be shocked over time at how you become much more free. So what I do is I don't profess to understand what another individual has going on in their life or what they've been through. So whenever possible, as long as it's not affecting me personally or my family in any negative way, I allow people to live. I allow them to make the decisions that they feel are right for them. Because at the same time, I want to be able to make my own decisions that I feel are right for me, whether people agree with them or not, based on my knowledge base, based on where I am in life. So for the most part, I try to treat others, and I'm not perfect by any means, with a greater level of kindness. Now that sometimes I'm not going to lie to you, it's harder than others. If someone has done something that is unkind, and there is a line that can be crossed, so I don't want to say that there isn't, right? There is. But for the most part, again, as long as it's not affecting you, physically, emotionally, etc., then the best thing to do is not judge, be kind, allow that person to live their life. So I'm telling you right now, and I think you probably recognize this as well, but the more the years pass, the older that you get, the more you realize that if you take care of yourself, meaning taking responsibility for your own health, your own physicality, how your body is in terms of pain, no pain, strength, etc., and meaning getting strong in all these areas of life, right? Health, in terms of finances, in terms of your body, in terms of your spirituality, meaning your connectedness, your okayness in the world that you're at right now, your overall emotions. The more that you have control of those, the more settled you feel in a strong foundation, the more then you're able to help others. That's just what I found. The more that I'm able to do, the more that I've taken on, that I've been able to build myself up, the more then I can share that with others. And I think you're going to find the same. And I really want that for you in this coming year, is that you look at all of those areas of your life, your health, your body transformation, your career or finances, your spirituality, and your relationships. That if any of those areas need to be strengthened, you start to work on that now. Because it's just step by step. It doesn't happen overnight. But when you do, and you strengthen yourself in those areas, I'm telling you right now, it begins to shine out into others because of how your interactions are with other people, right? If you're more present and you're not getting mad at someone for not knowing what you were thinking inside your head that you never verbally explained, and if someone is unhappy, that you're asking why, and is there anything that you could do better? If you're appreciating people, if you're giving more gratitude, if you're more grateful for other people's actions and you express that to them and you act with kindness in life, there's no doubt in my mind that you can't be a happier, more joyous person, have more peace in your life. And I really think that at the end of the day is what most of us want. We want to feel settled. We want to feel strong. We want to feel in control. But we also want peace. We want happiness. We want joy in our life, no matter how much control we feel. So while I don't believe that life is always easy, right? But if we stay present, as I said, we ask for what we're looking for out of life. We take that responsibility. We're giving thanks. We're giving grace. We're giving gratitude. And we begin to persevere in any of the areas that we're not strong right now. I do think that you'll be able to find exactly what you're looking for over this next year. Thank you so much for tuning into the Cabral Concept. I appreciate you. I thank you. If this show is helpful, do always feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. Take care.